Welcome back to City Heroes. We're on to our first semifinal match. They're going to be best of threes, and we have Will the Prime on the blue team versus ETS Ember on the red side, the purple team, which is not the same thing at all. And so yeah, these are two super strong teams. We just saw ETS play a shaky game. They lost it a few times, but nonetheless kept it together, knew what to do, pulled it out. And we've seen Will the Prime, which is a team I think mostly or all Dawson players. So school Dawson in Montreal. And yeah, both really, really strong teams who stomped a lot of competition in this tournament. We have bans coming out, Quinn and Anivia. Anivia's banned out against purple team a lot, so Velox probably plays that quite a bit. On the other side, we have Nidalee and Annie being banned out. Nidalee being banned out against Fnatic, yeah, who played a monstrous Nidalee game a few days ago in the group stages. Absolutely murdered in Amumu over and over again. I think that was probably one of the biggest level differentials I've ever seen in a jungle. I think it was like level 12 to level 7 or 8 or something like that.
Yeah, it was poor Mumu got bullied really hard, lost his blue, and then lost his life quite a few times.
Yeah, Ari being banned out. Those are 3 solo lane bans, 2 of them specifically for the mid lane. So a lot of focus on Velox being sort of the heart of his team, and you could see that in the past game actually. He was really, really courageous, really knew his limits, really knew the enemy team's limits. Very calculating player, and acts very quickly. So focusing on him so that he doesn't have the chance to snowball for his team. And the final ban coming out in the first pick, Lissandra being banned out. Good ban, I think. Just always a good ban. Somebody knows how to play her on the enemy team, and Fiora being picked up. I thought Fiora was banned, or rather, I thought she was disabled.
They must have fixed their bug really fast.
Yeah. And Gameplank being left up here.
Ooh, Cosmo.
That is really dangerous. But yeah, so we just saw Gameplank in the previous game. He did really well. He did pretty much almost as much champion damage as Karma. But I don't think... Yeah, I mean, just really solid performance, but yeah, I guess it's hard to shine when your Karma is just devastating people and chunking them out, forcing them to back all the time. We do have Elise being picked up here for Fnatic, Alistar being picked up for their bot lane, so picking up a lot of peel.
Elise being picked up by Fnatic should be a good pick. I think that's a really good shutdown on Kog'Maw if she get that cocoon on him. Really stop that machine and fire, so to speak, of damage.
Yeah, these are 2 really, really fun junglers to watch. They both play this champion, so I want to see them duke it out. I'm very curious to see how the jungle matchup is going to play out. Yeah, Kog'Maw, it's fairly difficult to get away from a composition like this once they've engaged on you, so Alistar is a pretty good pickup for them. So let's see what they pick up on the red team to stop that, and Sejuani would do the trick, actually.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I'm really excited to see that, if that's what's going to get picked. Fond of Sejuani, think she's a very strong champion. I don't want to call her a wannabe Malphite, because that wouldn't give her the respect she deserves, but she brings a lot of CC to the table with that knock-up, slow, and stun. A lot of AoE too for damage. She could just, not only does she stay prevalent with CC, but she can actually dish out a lot of damage as well. Picking up a Leandry's really helps on her, or you can go full tank and just be almost unkillable.
Yeah, what she provides is actually a lot of tools to stop engages. She has, I mean, her whole kit does that basically, but really functionally well right off the bat. Her Q and ultimate can stop people. And I don't think Elise is particularly good in a matchup against Sejuani. I don't think she does very much against her. So, yeah, that's a nice pickup. I haven't seen that anyway in a long time. But the champion was barely nerfed, so I don't know why people dropped her off so quickly. We do though have in the blue team the rest of the team being figured out: Kalista and Fizz. Um, so a pretty decent amount of mobility and a lot of ways of getting onto Kog'Maw. I think Fizz is a pretty good pickup in this matchup because it's you can't stop the ultimate damage if it gets onto Kog'Maw. Like there's no disengage that's going to help that.
Yeah.
And his ability to evade a lot of the CC and peel from the red side with his hop is going to be really good. But he's going to go top lane, it looks like. Is that
Interesting.
or is it a mid lane just with TP? Not sure. We're gonna see what that. Oh no. Okay, so they traded here, or rather, yeah, it's gonna be Fiora in the top lane. And
What I want to say is, what's interesting about ETS's team is, when I see that team, I see a team that's going to force you to spread out. You don't want to stay clumped up with a Karma Key. You don't want to stay clumped up with a Kog'Maw with his Runins. You don't want to stay clumped up for a Sejuani ult. And Janna's ult will force you to spread out. Once that pushes people back, they usually get spread out. So they're really going to cause that close team up that the Prime has, that they're going to want to stick together. It's going to kind of push them away, perhaps pushing them out of a Fiora ult heal that can help turn a team fight.
yeah, they'll have to play coordinated, but no, I think they'll be fine. Janna could just hold off on that. But yeah, no, I see what you mean. Actually, being clumped up is actually a problem because Fiora does her damage over time, more or less. Kalista is going to need members close to her to deal damage. Her range isn't exceptional. She's not like Tristana, where she can stay quite far away from her sources of peel. So she's going to have to be close to people like Fiora, Elise, and Alistar. And what you're saying is true. We have Gangplank, Sejuani, and Karma. And then we're obviously going to have the Hurricane coming up from Kog'Maw. So, yeah, a lot of AoE damage. I do want to point out, though, that this time, I think the red team's skirmish is a little bit less good than it was before. The blue team has a pretty good skirmish, I think, especially in the top lane. A strong Fiora will make Sejuani not so much of a problem. So I can see that playing out well for the blue team if they can get that ball stat rolling with some early ganks. They have the power to do it.
Yeah, I think the top lane matchup is going to be the one I'm most interested in watching. It's going to be a really close matchup. There's going to be a little bit of external, of course, with the junglers ganking, a little bit of external tampering, for the lack of a better term. But it's going to be really interesting to see how Fiora's going to deal with that range, or how Gangplank's going to deal with that gap closer. It's going to be a really battle of the wits in the top lane.
Yeah, a little bit of a cat and mouse, or a game of chicken, rather. We have Velox on Karma again. He did a really incredible performance the last game. We saw how much damage he did, and how many times he forced people to retreat, which just gave him so many free objectives. On the other hand, we don't have a lot of clear, and we don't have a lot of yeah, exactly, coming up from the blue team. Whereas we have Kog'Maw, GP, and Karma, so almost, a few similar picks coming up from the red team, but at the same time, completely different strategy. So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool to see. I like how quickly they turn up their strategy and they can play to it. Well, I hope they play to it just as well as the last time. Alright, well, we have 10 seconds left before we get into loading screen, and so we'll see you guys in game. Yeah, that'd be cool. So we're into game now. I just want to mention that everybody on the blue team, I think it was, yeah, I think it was, they all had rank 5 on the champions. Mastery. Totally means everything, guys. Mastery means how good you are.
It also helps increase your BM efficiency.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to point out, Fizz, if Karma plays well, Fizz is in massive trouble with Karma. He altered, she just shields and runs away and takes away that opportunity for that engage.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a little bit of a skill matchup. He does have the opportunity to dodge her Q, which would be her response, because it's, oh no, they're getting locked up here in their red side jungle. Bit of a misstep in the invade. Fnatic might get knocked up. No, he'll dodge that whirlwind, and or rather tornado, walk away. Oh, gonna get flashing, or rather force the flash. Kog'Maw gonna force on the flash. That was a little weird. I guess they didn't know where they were on the map. They assumed they were closer to their Krugs, but they spotted them out. So that's not a good start for Elise. She's going to be really behind now. And this is really good for ETS, actually, because ETS gets to pick up... Oh, early aggression from Fizz level 1. But yeah, ETS gets to pick up the Gromp and then walk down to the lane. I think they're only going to miss... Oh, they might miss the whole wave, actually. Oh, nice duel coming in from Fiora here. She's going to get the proc. No, not yet. She's having difficulty. Oh, there you go. Oh, nice job on the second one, too. Is this going to be first blood? She's forced to flash, but Fiora was forced to flash, too. And I think that was the dot on Gangplank that finished it off, as well as the minion damage. So first blood coming up from Gangplank. A little bit of a miscalculation from Fiora. The Q-in was a bit too hopeful.
Yeah, that third shot. You have to always be very respectful. I find Fiora, a lot of times Fiora, you get a little excited, you queue in, you go a little bit further than you're expecting, and the next thing you know, the turret's firing right at you.
So this is actually really good for ETS in terms of, oh, is forced to E out here. But yeah, ETS, this is good for them because Elise was put behind quite a bit. Sejuani is pretty far ahead, and so Elise only now has the opportunity to gank, and I think she has to back first or continue clearing. Don't think she has enough mana to do very much. And her lanes are not particularly gankable right now, maybe mid lane is. Yeah, so this is really good. If you can deny Elise's power in the early game, level 3 and level 4, so huge for Elise.
Sejuani lurking in the bot lane, you can see.
Oh, nice dodge coming up from Fizz. The out of mana Karma is going to get locked up here. The flash away. It's not going to be enough though. The ignite ticks as well as the W from Fizz, and that is a nice 1v1. Fizz picking up a kill for himself. Meanwhile, that gank by Sejuani, the failed gank, allowed Elise about 10 more seconds of time to catch up, so that's good. Oh, nice engage from Alistar though. The Karma, or rather, Kalista is going to come in here with a lot of spears, but she was exhausted for most of that, so Rent, not enough to kill Kog'Maw. Now a gank in the top side, Barrel's trying to zone them out. He's going to try and get away, trying to dodge the W, but all this damage, this walking back and forth, he's not going anywhere that way, just trying to dodge skill shots, but getting auto-attacked. Yep. So, Gangplank taken down there. Nice gank coming up from Elise. They have the appropriate amount of CC to do it. Good combos coming up from Gyok over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. Fizz picking up a Dark Seal, it's really interesting. He's really hoping to snowball that lane, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's true. That's... I don't know, that's risky. It's an interesting buy. I don't know how to value that buy right now. I haven't played with it very much. Or at all, to be honest with
you. The only thing that provides base-wise that's decent it increases.
So before that, in the bottom side, there's going to be another skirmish. No exhaust now to save Roman Coke. He's going to take... Well, the heal's going to save him instead, but yeah, that was really close call. So
Jenna
this
took
summer
us,
though,
the Q from.
oh, right now we see Karma coming down. She's just gonna place a ward, I think. Nope, she decided against the gank. And we do have Elise here, just chilling. Oh, nice Q in. Not afraid of the snare, says, you know what, you want to snare me? You'll snare me in melee range. That's actually pretty smart. Elise, patiently waiting. Fiora, like, I think Gameplank must know something's up. Oh, another 1v1 coming out from Fizz, but this time nothing to do after the snare. He's gonna take out that pink ward because Karma's quite low. She can't suffer another combo, I don't think. And she doesn't have flash. Oh, missed. Just barely, but yep. I don't think that was worth all the time spent. Especially knowing that you only have 1 CC. Ultimate coming up from Fizz though in the mid lane. He is gonna get a nice 1v1 for free. Beautiful job. As soon as he turns 6, threw the fish onto her. Full damage comboed under the tower and avoided turret shot. Velox, I mean, getting Jensen right now.
Now, if you were ETS, what lanes would you assess if you were Pussyfoo?
Don't gank mid. Like, there's no reason to gank that matchup in particular. I mean, Karma can deal with it, but by the snare through the targetable, there's really like, there's not a lot of counterplay for Fizz in that matchup. But still, like, don't go mid. Just don't go top. You have another carry on your team. Gameplank is just as capable of carrying in terms of damage, pure damage late game, as Karma is, if not more, despite the nerfs. So I think visit top lane right now. Right now, though, Alistar going to get the knockup and the exhaust, double exhaust coming up from bot lane, all the summoners, and a flash coming out from Kog'Maw is going to try and save himself. He's going to ditch his Janna. Janna going to have to tornado to get away. The rend, not enough. That was pretty good. Alistar having the overtime heal that he can do in lane, and the amount of damage they dealt in that trade basically means they win it very easily. Now they get to push the tower. Fiora coming in here. She's going to try and 1v1 Gameplank with the ultimate. They're both going to ulti the barrel underneath. She's going to parry nothing, and nothing's going to come from that. But right now we have Karma. Oh no, Gameplank forced the flash away. Has to get away from that Q auto attack. We do have Karma and Sejuani though. Can they catch her? Yes, they will. The snare's going to lock down onto Karma. Elise and Fizz walking up to the top lane right now. Can they get a pick? The stun's not going to land. Sejuani with a nice little sidestep, but the fish will land. It's really hard to avoid that. The Q into the Q from Elise is going to pick up that kill. Nicely done from Juvia Loxer. He followed his mid lane, albeit a little bit slowly, but nonetheless was there for his team and made a play happen when he recognized he could do something. We have another knockup though coming out from Alistar. They are bullying this bottom lane. It just doesn't seem like Synergy and Romanco can stick together, and Janna will go down. So much action across the map right now. I mean, Will the Prime making things happen, doing work.
And definitely bringing the fight to not giving ETS room to breathe, really pressuring them, allowing for the lanes to snowball their lead. Yeah, if you're just getting Gangplank out of lane constantly to stop that harass.
One thing we have to note though is Kog'Maw is still a ridiculous champion. Did he receive changes this patch?
His nerf was he got a little bit of his base attack speed from his W. Sorry, base attack speed as a whole, just his base stat is lower. And his growth a bit.
Well, whatever it probably wasn't enough. Just.
And you still get that attack speed going, and you're still gonna be a machine. They just made him more extreme. You know, he's like kind of, he was last season, but now instead of being slightly weak early, well, slightly weak is a little bit of an understatement. Like weak early game and strong late game, he's extremely weak early game, but extremely strong late game. He's like the definition of an ultra carrier right now.
Yeah, so with 2 items, I've seen plenty of games, a little bit of a 1v1 duel coming out here. Fiora going to try and chew out more than she can, bite more than she can chew, rather. Yeah. I've seen a lot of games where Kog'Maw's team has been really quite far behind, and Kog'Maw just with 2 items really brings the pain even from behind. It's that Rage Blade, Hurricane, or I think there's another combination people do. But yeah, definitely still a threat, so I don't think the hope is lost here for ETS. I think given time, give some patience. If Sejuani can make something happen in the top lane here, give Gameplank the possibility to be a stat threat, and wait till Kog'Maw gets to the point in the game where he does have that item combination where he shines, and make sieges happen. They have the superior siege. We do have in the mid lane another 1v1 coming up though. Karma is going to get the snare after the fish. She's going to be forced to flash away from Elise. Elise with the snare, or rather the smite and the Q. Going to kill Karma, lock up that kill for them. Nicely done, and they're going to be able to pressure the mid lane off this. Instead they're going to just go pick up blue.
I just want to note that the Hydra change now, you can no longer freely...
Top lane, Fiora makes a fatal mistake. Goes in with the ultimate thinking she can heal off of her passive procs really quickly, but no, that one Q. I'm not sure if that was a crit. No, it wasn't a crit. We do have Fizz though being found out by Gameplank in a barrel. It's going to be forced to run away though because that one auto is too much. A lot of action happening in the bottom side now. Kalista going low, but the damage is too much. In the meantime though, Elise picking up a kill on the top side against Karma. Velox having a really difficult time this game. Oh man. This is looking pretty bad right now. Even though the goal difference isn't huge, the tower difference is about to be huge. If you don't get Gameplank going soon, Fizz is going to run this game amok, basically. Yeah, I think Sejuani really needs to make action happen. Right now, Sejuani is kind of acting like vision control jungler, but she's had the capability to dive the top side for quite a while. Repeatedly, actually. Being that she has the vision smite or vision jungle item, I think she could have done quite a bit of work in there. It's getting a bit too late though. We're coming into the mid game right now, and
Sure, starts picking up steam now.
Yeah, that's true too. We have a strong jungler, Elise, with most of the kills, or rather the most kills on her team, and a really strong fish.
Titanic, just to be noted that there's something that slightly affects Fiora.
Oh, the fish is gonna miss. He's gonna miss with the E as well. Nicely done from Karma. Just gonna get away safe. With the which item?
The Hydras, you're no longer allowed to freely change between the two, so it kind of hurts Fiora. She usually gets Titanic earlier for a little bit of beefy stats, but she can no longer freely switch between the two when she gets her spikes.
I see. Kog'Maw's having difficulty farming right now. I mean, he's quite far behind. I think that was because all of the forceful action. Wow, Kalista not carrying at all. Forced to flash though because the snare was too much of a threat under tower with her being targeted. Oh, the powered Q almost taking her down. One more Q does it. She can't get cocky here. They're gonna have to disengage to be safe, I think. Meanwhile though, in the top lane, they're going to be forcing this tower with the numbers advantage. But right now the numbers become even with Fizz rotating down. Elise on the backside is going to try and deal some damage to Sejuani. All the while, we have Fizz with the rotation, the E over the wall into the Q. Nicely done. Kalista picks up that kill. Yeah, Kog'Maw far behind in CS. Only now is getting to pick up some farm, but being that far behind at this part of the game is... Oh, miss from Sejuani ult. Yeah, it's not looking very good right now. They're gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit, I think. Fnatic picking up that kill with a smite. Nicely done. There's a little bit too much staying going on and a little bit too much straying away from the objectives they actually have to protect. They got roped into a re-engage, rather, that they didn't have to take. Trying to defend vision that is not immediately useful to them and also puts them in danger over something they don't need to protect at the moment. It's questionable. Also, oh, we do have Fizz coming out. Nice pickup in the enemy jungle. He's going to meet Karma as well, again with the Q after the snare. Nicely done. Into the E. He's going to dodge the empowered Q, or second empowered Q rather, and comes back with the Ignite and gets the kill 1v1 again. So many outplays coming out from that Fizz, and so much action. They're going to keep going. Gameplank getting locked up here, getting exhausted just to get the slow to try and kill him. Elise finally gets the last auto. He's going to kill him. And the Pro BM, as you were talking about.
Next level BM.
Next level. 0-6 on Velox right now. Getting really bullied.
I think something to point out too is Wildprem is really managing their kills well. If you look at the scoreboard, they're really emphasizing their assassins and their carries. There was a moment where Elise could have picked up the kill, but instead she gave it to the Fiora to help Fiora get a little bit further ahead. They're really putting the carries into this powerful role right now.
Kog'Maw, maybe putting Kalista in a little bit of threat. Oh, the nice flash knock up from Janna might... Nope, the flash away from Kalista might save her here. And she will go down, but not before Elise has something to say about it. She will try and take down Kog'Maw without any mana. She will repel, but Janna has his back. Fiora joins the fight. The ulti from Gameplank will take her down. Sejuani is also here to help. Roman Coke finally goes down. So much effort was put into killing that guy, but it was all worth it in the end, I think. From here, they can probably safely do a lot of damage. Locks are going to miss with the fish. It's going to get snared up, and that's the end of that chase. Yeah, I would have liked a little bit, to be honest with you, a little bit more kills onto my my laners if I was Elise, but you know, Elise percentage damage. What can you do? I'm really curious as to know why ETS hasn't really crept around Dragon. Like, I feel like that's something they could deal with. They have preparatory tools, basically, with Gameplank. I feel like they could have maybe done something there a long time ago. Their team fight definitely looks pretty strong.
I want to say that maybe ETS is almost fearful. They've been Wildprem has been very exploitive of mistakes made by ETS and really punishing them for them. I think ETS is a little afraid to make almost actions now for the sake of the fact that Wildprem is going to come in and punish them for anything.
Man, sick engage from Gyuk, goes all in, the re-engage with the Kalista ultimate. Meanwhile, Loxer picking up a kill on the backside is going to be unstoppable, making Karma 0-7 and taking him out of the fight. Meanwhile, the rest of the red team is low. Elise just terrorizing them on the backside and taking turret shots like it doesn't matter. All the while, Kalista will pick up that tower. Very nicely done. Taking their brute strength and their 7k or 6k gold lead. Yeah, just about 6k. And they will push down that tower. Yeah, Elise is quite strong right now as a real damage threat. She's not very tanky, but every time she goes in, it's forcing people to back off, which is kind of funny because I think they could probably smash her in two if they just turned around and focused her for a second. But she's playing very well with the repels. They're playing in and out with the turret aggro, and all the while Kalista just took that tower for free.
So if you were ETS, what would you do right now? What's your strategy to get back in the game?
I think they can probably cheese, to be honest with you. Like, not cheese, but take them by surprise. Like, cheese is basically take by surprise. So they can set, like, Gameplank and Sejuani is a lot of setup power, and it's also a lot of initial burst to make that happen in a part of the jungle where you control vision. The vision isn't completely lost for them. Like, the map isn't also completely lost for them right now. Like, they can, like, they were able to pick up Scuttler vision, so that's telling. Like, they can make something happen in that part of the map on the next objective, either Rift Herald or Dragon. I would suggest Dragon because the entrance to the pit faces their side of the map, so it makes it easier for them. Tufer, though, he's going to get caught up here trying to place a ward, but they have control of that area of vision. So yeah, ETS just needs to play vision well and set up with Gameplank and Sejuani. If they get a good initial burst, they have a ton of follow-up. Kog'Maw, Janna, and Karma is great for following, it's great for disengage, and it's great persistent damage. So, yep, I think that's what they need to do. But like you said, I think maybe hesitating because they're scared of being picked off by that Fizz. But yeah, it's difficult to call these situations. It's also very difficult to tell who do you take to go place that vision. How do you split up the map right now? What turret do we lose to place this vision? Because they'll have to lose maybe an objective to set up the way they want to do. So yeah, it's a difficult situation for ETS. I don't blame them right now. All three lanes being pushed up here. And Fiora trying to bully Gameplank off of this. Meanwhile, on top side though, Red is trying to get something. The ulti is just going to slow Sejuani, but that won't be enough to engage. Instead, Karma gonna get pretty low here, but oh, nice! Janna ulti rather, but it's not enough. Throw flashes and dashes. Fizz just absolutely demolishing, just one-shotting Janna there, and Kog'Maw has to run away from this. Has no time to turn around and damage. Nice knockup combo again from Alistar, picking those up one after another. Next level BM coming out from the whole team. Everybody.
This is DJ Khaled getting another one.
Another. Yeah. Gyuk is doing some serious work. Every time a disengage happens, he doesn't, oh wow, shutdown coming out from Gameplank onto Elise. Yeah, he's not impatient with his combos. He'll walk to you, force you to blow your cooldowns to get him away from you because the threat of the knockup is there without the knockback. But then he'll hold that, wait till you do that, and then combo you. And then Elise repels and queues onto you, so really well done from Gyuk.
He's definitely putting... There's, to Alistar, with this ult, there's not only a physical aspect in the sense that it reduces damage, but there's also a mental aspect where when you're facing an Alistar and you know he's going to ult, you know soon your damage is going to mean nothing to him, and it's a very scary thought.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your cooldowns. Yeah, this is looking pretty desperate for ETS. They're way behind basically on everything. They have no objective on the map. They're down 9k or 8k rather. Strongest member though, luckily for ETS, the strongest member on their team is Gameplank. So at least you do have the gold on the champion on your team that can really deal a lot of damage. And we do have 2-item Kog'Maw coming out here. Finally picked up this farm game a little bit.
Been really smart. Walder Prime really kind of causing Kog'Maw to have to be with his team, really pulling him off the farm, which is really effective way of shutting down Kog'Maw. You don't necessarily have to kill him, you have to just keep him away from getting that gold and getting going.
Yeah. Oh, Alistar being trapped out here, but the ultimate and the knockup comes out onto 4 members. Fish coming out onto Karma, she's going to get dealt a ton of damage. The knockback though from Janet is going to save that just for the meantime. Yeah, the disengage happens with the Gameplank ulti. That was a scary moment for ETS. It was a little bit frightening when Alistar came in there and said, "You want to engage? Hello."
I find it interesting that Janna is an Aether Wisp. Is she perhaps building Ardent Sensor, is it called? The heal for on hit, gives a little mini wit's end to your team.
Not too sure. We'll see what she does with that. Fizz is so strong right now.
That Dark Seal's paid off definitely. He's got 10 stacks on it.
Yeah, he is very confident on this champion, you can tell. You can tell also he knows the matchup very well because he knew basically exactly what to do as soon as, you know, the snare is about to land, as soon as you hear the empowered R ability proc, she's going to Q something. He's really good at outplaying that matchup. They're trying to camp, I think, the area for Baron, just leaving Fiora out there. They might start it. They do have Kalista, so yeah, it's gonna look like they're gonna start Baron up. And in the meantime, Fizz is looking for something on the backside. That area is warded. Oh, the Kalista ultimate coming out though. Alistar getting the knockup. He will knock back Janna. Janna
Good
is
Sejuani.
going to go down. Sejuani forces Elise to repel. Meanwhile though, Velox is going to go down from Lobster, or Lobster, and Rum and Coke getting two-shotted there. Fizz just turned his attention to him. Doesn't last very long, and Lobster going for the triple, I think this is. Very nicely done with the BM at the end. Yeah, knew the dot was going to kill him. That was really nicely played. Just forced the Baron, basically. They were saying, we have such a huge advantage, we can kill them anywhere. Just force an objective that they have to come and take or else they'll lose the game. And they did that, and Lockster with the incredible plays is just able to pick up one member, and after that one member's gone, his EQ combinations will kill the three other members other than Sejuani very quickly.
I just want to point out too, Sejuani actually had a very good ult in that team fight. Actually took off 2 carries, but just while the Prime has such a lead, that even with those 2 carries, they were still just melting through the HP.
Yep, so we'll see what ETS can do at this point. It's looking pretty grim for them because now the gold lead is stretching to 10k, 11k, and they still don't have any objectives. They don't have any map control. No map control. You have
A fat Fizz.
Their siege is still really good. It's just they have to use it and not get caught off by Fizz. Blue team picking up their second dragon, I think it is. Yep.
The big issue for ETS right now isn't their position. It is literally the Fizz. Like he will dictate who he wants to destroy, and within 2 seconds you have one of your carries dead before you can even blink.
Kalista does a ton of damage right now, to be honest with you. So she's also a huge threat. They have a lot of threats on their team. It would take a lot of mistakes, I think, right now for ETS to come back, or rather a lot of mistakes for the Prime for ETS to come back. They will take that inhibitor pretty freely. There's nothing ETS can do about that. They didn't really poke them down either. So that means the Prime gets to move to another objective. So they're going to rotate top right now. Fnatic clearing out that ward and gets the pick onto Velox, has so much damage as the jungler, dodges that damage, dodges the E from Kog'Maw. He's gonna make an escape here. Meanwhile, Alistar trying to help his buddy but gets locked up in the meantime. Unbreakable Will comes out. The whole team now in the mid lane. What is going on with this right now? Lobster coming in, he's gonna get knocked back, but the ultimate will help him. The Zhonya's is gonna make him survive that. And in the meantime, Kalista picks up a double kill. He's gonna keep going forward. And Kog'Maw finally goes down. This looks like it's going to be Will the Prime closing out the game. They just had to get them together and force them to fight, and with their incredible gold lead, incredible stat lead, they were just able to bully them down, basically. Yeah, that Fizz doing so much work.
Incredible recovery from the start too that we saw. That caught out in the jungle didn't really push Elise far back enough. She was able to get back in.
Yeah, you're right about that. Everybody played very, very aggressively too. That was really, really well played from Will the Prime. We'll see what ETS does in the next game to correct that. I mean, you know, I was questioning the mid bans focusing on Velox, but I think what it was is they just gave Fizz a lane that he knew how to deal with. They knew that Velox didn't have many other resources, maybe, and it paid off in dividends. I mean, Fizz did so much work that game. All right, so we'll see you guys in the next game. It's going to be these two teams at it again for the second game out of the best of 3.